Right, let's have it right. Manchester United are in absolute chaos at the moment. We've got unsuitable players playing in positions that they don't understand. You've got players out of form. You've got players getting booed off and potentially sold left, right, and centre. We are at a critical point in the first team where we just don't have the manpower to be able to field an 11 of players that are playing in positions that they actually get. That's not a great place to be. You can't be shoehorning players in at the very top level and just expecting it to work. Now, luckily for us, amidst this circus of a club, we still have one of the best academies in the world. And we are lucky to have an absolute dream of a crop of players coming through. Now, people misunderstand me when I do these videos on the academy. Not once have I ever said that anyone making it is a guarantee. It's complex, it involves a lot of luck, a lot of timing, and there's a lot of mistakes get made as well. Players who could have made it here didn't get the opportunities, and all that sort of stuff goes on. But there are some players that I think are worth a look at. So let's look to Carrington, and let's see if there's some players that can help plug some gaps at Manchester United right now. I'm not talking about in 6 months. I'm not talking about next season. I'm talking right now. And the first one I'm going to start with is Harry Amass. Now, Delo has not really worked since Amorim came in. And you could arguably say the same for Mazraoui since he's been moved from the sort of wide centre-half kind of role for Mazraoui. Everyone needs time to adjust. But I think Harry Amass, for 5 minutes at the end of a game, I'm shocked that hasn't happened so far. I'm sure it's happening in training, but I'm shocked that we haven't seen it in a first team game with the amount of minutes that everybody's been getting, with the chances that Malacia got, really underperformed and then got more chances after underperforming again. Harry Amass brings dynamism, attacking intent, as well as defensive strength 1v1. I believe he's got all of the tools to at least have a stab at the left wing back spot. I think he deserves a shot. Competition never hurt anybody. The cream always rises to the top. And even if you think back to what happened when Brandon Williams was given an opportunity, it pushed Luke Shaw on. What's the worst that can happen if you give him an opportunity? Even if he only ever ends up as a backup, you've got someone else pushing on and keeping that spot locked down. Give him a chance. Rather than listen up, if you fancy a new football replica shirt as you step into the new year, then this is your chance. You can bag an £80 shirt voucher to redeem for a shirt of your choice. It's as easy as that. And here's the deal. All you got to do is stick a £5 bet on any Premier League game between the 20th of December and the 7th of January using any of the links in the description. And that's it. You're in the draw. Don't miss out. Get your bets in now. The giveaway is open to new and existing Hollywood Bet customers, so just click the link in the description. If you're new to Hollywood Bets, create an account and you can claim one of the fantastic new customer offers, which I'll link below. Remember, you've got to be over 18. You've got to be in the UK to participate. Terms and conditions do apply. Please gamble responsibly. Second up is Godwill Kukonki. Now, centre-half is a position that you rarely see very young players coming through, and we've also got plenty of room for backup. But Kukonki could excel as a backup and eventually even become a starter there. If Maguire leaves, and there is some talk that he might be made way because of the value that's been on him, he has just extended his contract, or the club have extended his contract by a year. Is that in an effort to maximise his resale value, or is that, for another reason? If he goes as a starter gone, Johnny Evans could call it quits on his time as a professional footballer, or at least at United at the end of this season. There's another starter gone. Lindelof could be sold. There's another one gone. Lisandro Martinez is currently not in great form at the moment, whether that's injuries, the system, the loss of Varane. The truth is Martinez has been off the boil at best this season. I think that makes the gap for Kukonki to come in available. We saw with Willy Kambala towards the end of last season that when you just need someone to just fill a gap, a youngster can come in and be reliable. And they'll get through that on adrenaline and excitement for the first few months. It's only after that where you start to find out whether they've maybe not quite got, think back to the likes of Donald Love and McNair and that. There can be some fantastic performances that get put in just by raw enthusiasm by youngsters. And that's when you find out whether Kukonki has got the ability to be able to be a Manchester United player or not. And I don't think there's any harm in finding out. I don't think there's any harm in seeing if these boys can sink or swim. You'll know then. And I think he's got a hell of a lot to his game that I like. The fact he's left-footed is a massive plus for him and any system that he plays in. I would encourage anybody to give this kid a chance. Again, 5-10 minutes, the end of a game. Just let's see what he's got. He's 6'5". He is imposing himself on players constantly because he is 6'5". That helps him dominate completely the age groups that he's been playing in. But he's also an extremely versatile defender. He's played at left back for the under-18s. He's played at centre half. Positional flexibility makes him perfect as a left side centre half. You could even put him in the channel as a left wing back if you was going to play a more defensive game, or you wanted his height to deal with a particular threat in the opposition. His channel defending is top. Amorim has shown a willingness to integrate him. It supposedly has a if you're good enough, you're old enough sort of mentality. Yet Lenny Euro's consistent minutes seem to line up with that. Obviously, he came with a price tag attached to him, but could it be the same story with Kukonki? I'd like to see it happen. Number 3, Dan Gore. Now, Dan Gore deserves a lot of praise for the academy performance that he's had for us so far, and I also think he's got the potential to land in the first team. He's a highly, highly gifted player. He's very much technically gifted with a sensational range of passing and combination play. He's highly combative too, and that's something that I think Amorim might really look to when he's eyeing up a replacement in central midfield. Even if he just thinks, I can't play Ugarte for 90 minutes, can I bring Dan Gore on and just say, hey, watch what he's been doing? Just do that. 15 minutes. Can he not do that? Dan Gore also brings a bit of a creative edge that puts him a level above some of his peers. Now, whether or not he can do that in the Premier League, that's what we're yet to see. But he does have a capability to play advanced. He likes to go one touch, he can do two touch very effectively, especially in the final third. And he's made a big impression in the academy. The coaching staff at Carrington obviously rate him very, very highly. He's already been given a Premier League debut on Boxing Day 2023. He was one of the players that was a part of that FA Youth Cup winning side not too long ago. He's come into the boil nicely. Now's the time to start dripping 5 minutes here and there, and let's find out if he can play first team men's football. Number 4, Amir Ibragimov. Amorim appreciates players who are versatile. He loves graft. He wants quality sprinkled on top of that. Is there a player in Manchester United's academy that embodies those traits more than Ibragimov? Ibra, to me, reminds me of a young Wayne Rooney. He defies having a set position. He will run at you. He will take the ball under pressure. He will press. He will tackle. He will probably fight you at some point. Obviously, we know the background of his undefeated MMA professional brothers. He is an absolute phenom. And he's got that sort of edge that Wayne Rooney had. And very much in terms of play style, he's obviously not at the level of Wayne Rooney because Wayne Rooney already by now was playing first team football for Everton. But he's got the style of Wayne Rooney. He's got a sense of space, off the ball movement, first touch, killer instinct, box movement that makes me feel like he could be a real unorthodox wild card if we need someone to do something in that number 10 spot off a striker. Amir's your man. He would be sensational in that role. And then finally, I did a video on this kid earlier in the week, and that's Jim Thwaites. So I'm putting his name in the hat for an opportunity. You heard my Scholes comparison. Again, some people don't understand the comparison. The comparison isn't talking the same way I've just did with Ibra and Rooney. They're obviously not as good as those players. But for most people watching, they sit there going, who does he play like? One of the first things that anyone asks when they're asked about a player is, who does he play like? What sort of central midfielder is he? Is he a Seedorf or is he a Carrick? Do you know what I mean? Is he Roy Keane? Or is he a little bit more like Scholes? Well, the easiest way to sort of describe a player is to make a comparison to the sort of style of player that they are. And Jim Thwaites looks like he's got some of Paul Scholes' DNA in him. No assertions being cast there, but the technical quality is there. There's little body feints. Those of you who watched when I said last week, go watch the videos of Jim playing. A lot of people came back and was like, Jesus, yeah, I see it. He's got freakishly good set plays, which, Paul Scholes never had. It's a quality that the first team absolutely require. He plays with energy, he plays with tenacity. There's a desire about the way he plays, as well as, ridiculous technical ability. You don't really get people coming through Manchester United Academy at the moment that don't have ridiculous technical ability. It's just expected because of the grounding that they get coming through Carrington. There's 5 players, and I had to whittle this down. We started with 10, and I didn't want to do 10. I wanted to do 5. Those are 5 players that I think they'll all debut for Manchester United. Obviously, Dan Gore's already made that. I think they'll all debut and they'll all play games for Manchester United going forward. And if they don't, I think there's a mistake been made somewhere, or they've been injured, because these are all good enough to contribute to that first team. Whether or not they're good enough to secure a first team spot and play 100 games, or even be successful and win things at the club, I don't know the answer to that. You don't know the answer to that. And them kids don't know the answer to that. Nobody does. We have to just let them cook and see what they're able of doing. But I think they're all worth having a look at. I don't think they can be as bad as some performances I've seen in the first team this season. I really don't. We are incredibly lucky to have such a strong group of lads that are coming. This under-18s team has been winning trebles. They've been absolutely smashing teams. They've got genuine prospects to succeed outside of Old Trafford and in world football, if that's the path that they choose. But they've also got a chance to make a change now for Ruben Amorim before the end of this season, before he considers going to the transfer market in what's probably going to be with one hand tied behind his back because of PSR and FFP. Carrington is the answer to our problems. Won't be the answer to all of them, but it will answer some of the problems. And Manchester United have never been successful without a core of our own academy prospects in that first team, ever. From the babes through Fergie's greatest sides, we have never, even in the darker times, when we were still bringing through the likes of Mark Hughes and Sammy McIlroy and stuff like that, we have never had a successful team without academy graduates in it. So if you want to get Manchester United back to the top, it starts at Carrington. Let me know your thoughts on those players. See you in the next one. Laters. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, 5-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.